Alright guys, welcome back to Speedhaus. Today we are going to be working on this G80. It's got an S58 in it. The thing we're going to be doing is the easiest power mod, the best power mod, best bang for your buck, or what JB4 says anyways, on this car. As you can tell, it's just a bunch of cables in a little box, and that's basically all it is, realistically. And we're going to do step by step on how to install this thing on this G80. Obviously you have your JB4, but what tools are you going to need to kind of do this job? So you're going to need some form of like a 3/8 ratchet or a 3/8 impact, which I have here. And then you're going to need 15 socket, 13 socket, 10 mil socket, and a 21. Those are the sockets you're going to need. I also have a 1/4 inch ratchet for the 10 mil. It's kind of a small place. It's kind of hard to reach. Flathead screwdriver is going to help. Push pin tool is going to help you a lot, and a 90-degree pick. Some of these connectors are going to be kind of tricky to get off as well, because I have an extension for my 10 mil. The other thing that's really nice to have, you're probably not going to have it, you're going to need some form, shape, or way to punch a hole through the firewall. There's some rubber grommets you're going to punch a hole through. Some of these cars, you have one that you can just punch out. Some of them you're actually going to have to punch a hole through the rubber. So like we have a tool here, it's a pass-through punch tool. You can't really pass through it, but this helps to, you know, punch your way through the rubber. That's basically all the tools you're going to need. It's very simple. Most of you guys have these tools at home, and the only thing you're not going to have is probably this punch tool, which you can use a straight pick and do that if you got that. And then zip ties. Zip ties are your other thing you're going to need. Some of these guys run these JB4s just kind of halfway, and just have the wires kind of hanging, but we're going to make sure it's all nice and clean and tucked. And then that's all the tools you're going to need. So let's get to taking stuff apart. Undo the battery, the negative terminal, before you start. You don't have any electrical stuff running through this when you're unplugging stuff. You might have a code later, so unplug it before you start. And when you're done, plug it back in. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull this, whatever you want to call this plate. It's a 1/4 turn. You just pull these off. You just need this side off. Then we're going to pull all this bracing off so we can pull this off. So we'll get started with that. These are 15s, and this one's a 13. So if your car has stock intakes, you're going to have to take this whole entire intake out on both sides. This one obviously has aftermarket, so all I'm going to do is remove this cone, just to give me more access to get down to the T-map, which is way down there. Okay, so for the most part we have everything out and off that you need to get off in order to get to every plug-in on this car. So now we're going to kind of run the JB4 down in here, get kind of situated, and start plugging stuff in. Okay, so you're going to put your box down in this cubby hole, as long as with the OBD connector portion, which is the cable by itself. We'll worry about that later. So remember that 21 I was telling you about? So you're going to pull these two 21s right here that hold this brace, this bracket. And you're going to tuck this cable around here. That's why I do, you don't have to. And so I'm going to tuck all this in a minute. I'm going to give you an idea of how everything goes. So here's your map sensor. You're going to unplug this, plug all this stuff together. It's real simple. Let's see what we got going on here. This one right here comes down here roughly, goes to your T-map. I'll show you how to get to that in a second. These two, you can get them mixed up either way, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which one goes to which. These are your EWGs. Okay, so here's your back turbo, EWG, plug in, unplug it. Plug this side in, plug that in there, simple. Here's your front turbo, your front EWG. Doesn't matter, like I said, doesn't matter which one goes to where, as long as they're both plugged in. So you can run that however you want to. That gets you an idea of how stuff goes where. We're going to start tucking some of this stuff. And the hardest one on this whole thing is the T-map down here. And we'll show you what's going on down there. It's real easy to get the connectors mixed up. There's one right above it, and that is the wrong one. So there's a connector below it, and that's the one you're going to. We'll show you when we get down there in a second. A lot of guys get that confused and they have problems with the car after. That's why. All I'm doing now is just tucking. Now you can do as little as tucking as you want, or as a lot. Here at Speedhaus, we don't do stuff halfway. So trust me, I'm going to try to make this look as factory as possible. So we have the map sensor plugged in, just like that. We'll tuck this some more. Just the rainbow colored cables go to the map. This one that's by itself, a little brown and black. It's a lot smaller than the other two. These are going to run down to your T-map. Now, the first step you're gonna do is pull this tin, get this bracket off the way. It's the auxiliary water pump. You need this to move so you can get your hand down in there. I'll show you that once we get this out of the way. Okay, so when you're doing your T-map, this is the connector right above the AC condenser. Guys mess up and accidentally do, so do not do that one. It's right on top of the AC compressor, right next to the auxiliary water pump. You are going way down here. I don't know if you can see it down there, but see, the connector is right down in there. She's on that charge pipe, way down there. Point directly at it, that's where you're going. It's gonna be hard to see it on camera when we do it. Just know that's the connector where you're going after. So these clips that are kind of a pain in the butt. Gotta come in here. There's your safety. Your safety's off. Now, usually you can push this down. You see your clip move. Sometimes that sticks and you need the 90-degree pick. Today we don't need it. So you're gonna push that back. Just like that, it comes off. Basically, your shorter one of these two, you're gonna go to this one because it's closer. No, but for some reason you routed it differently. You just can't really route it any other way. You may use this one over there, but like I've said before, it doesn't matter which one goes to where. Okay, so right now we're zip tying everything. You know, I don't like stuff flopping around. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to, you could, but that sometimes can be dangerous. There's a lot of moving parts in here, so you don't want stuff getting caught on the pulleys and belts. So I have the connector down here, all zip tied together. We still gotta cut everything. That one's zip tied. This one's zip tied nice and tight. I'm gonna try to run stuff in factory clips. You know, the more factory you can make this look, the better, in my opinion. And then you want to run stuff. You don't want to run stuff over stuff that's important. Like, you don't want to run stuff over these coil packs where you can't get them out, run over this intake where you can't get stuff out. Make sure you're running stuff where you can still access other parts as well. So we're going to continue zip tying some of this stuff up, and then we're going to show you how to run the plug through the firewall to plug into the DME. That's not right. Plug into the OBD. Sorry. Yeah, too many 3-letter words. Zip tie the world, brother. Zip tie the world. Okay, so we're done more or less with the engine bay. So now we gotta come to underneath the car, well, underneath the inside of the car. So in the footwell, there's this black panel, and it's an 8mm. Forgot that in the tool part of this. What is this called? Video, not a movie. There's 2 8s. There's one over here and one over here. You're gonna pull both of these, and you're gonna give you access to pull this panel down. Once I get it down, I'll show you what's going on in this firewall. This video is sponsored by me, and only me. I bought this headlamp. But if you would also like to buy this headlamp, which is very, very helpful, and I'm not just saying that because I want you to buy it. It's actually really good. Check out the link below. Back to our original broadcasting. There's our panel. I've unplugged it. We're gonna have to get out. After that, camera me. Put a light in here so y'all can see it. There is a, right here, where that arrow's pointing. I'm holding a light in my mouth. Where that arrow is pointing, there's a little black dot right there. You're gonna shove that thing out. And then after that, you can run your cable through. So let me get that shoved out, and we'll show you what that looks like. I think it's a great shot, Trevor. Look, there's Trevor.
Amazing job.
Okay, so here's your OBD connector. This part's gonna stay in the car. Here you come in the cab. You're gonna run this side through that hole that I just punched out.
Here we go.
Yeah, pull it through, baby, pull it through. You can see that cable runs right through that hole that I just punched out. Yeah, you're gonna put this black panel back in there. Just kind of pops in there. It's kind of hard to mess up. When you're pulling it out, you'll get the gist of how it goes back in. So what I like to do on these JB4 installs is I pull the carpet back that's inside this pocket, tuck this JB4 back in there, as you can see. And then if you have a JB4 Connect, not all of them do. I mean, most of them have this cable, but not all of them are all hooked up. I have Velcro. I have stuff called the type of Velcro. I Velcro this up, so it's up, out of the way of everything, get good connection. It's just some of the stuff we do here at Speedhaus, and I'm gonna, you know, zip tie all this stuff together and tuck this as well. You know, it's kind of hard to tell. If you didn't know what you were looking at, you wouldn't really know that any of this is aftermarket. All right, we now have everything installed and back together. We're gonna put the old battery connector back on. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That concludes our JB4 install on the S58. I want to add something that we've seen a couple times in the past. Sometimes these JB4s are bad out of the box. You can completely put it on, everything correctly, do every step perfect. You'll start the car and you'll have a check engine light with a bunch of codes. It's not your fault. JB4s sometimes are bad out of the box. They're really good with warranty though. Give them an email, send it back, they'll send you a new one. Have to reinstall unfortunately, but usually that's all it is. It's not your problem, it just was bad out of the box. This one was good out of the box, so we're happy to see that. So thanks for watching guys. Please like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you in the next one.